Boehner called former President Donald Trump a little crazy, which is more of an indictment of Boehner than Trump, that he says a little crazy. But John Boehner, on with Stephen Colbert, had an interesting thing to say about Lindsey Graham. Take a look at this.
Lindsey Graham.
He's one of the funniest people you'll ever meet in your life.
Like funny, haha,
like
or funny,
really,
what the is wrong with that guy?
No, like really funny, Stephen.
But what, can you explain, Lindsey Graham, how you can say that about, can you explain what the hell happened to him? He's baffling to even people who voted for him.
Well, Lindsey, he can kind of move a little right, move a little left. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good dancer, but he really is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Lindsey Graham, great dancer. Okay.
So I included this video, Dan, for a very specific reason. I occasionally like to test bubbles and test whether my biases against people make me unreasonable. But I can't believe it and I can't accept it, Dan. What about you?
I think it has to do with a class analysis of politics, and that when you don't see these people for who they are, as in like vessels for preventing the working class and a lot of other people who are struggling with their American experience to having a chance at a better one, but people who you don't see them as people who are obsessed with their ego and looking out for themselves and their own families and their own wallets, essentially. But when you become a politician and you see these politicians as your friends and your allies and your people, then yeah, they're jokes that would be like horribly milquetoast and not funny to all of us outside of that bubble you're kind of alluding to, John. It just kind of seems repugnant. But there was, like we were talking about a little bit earlier with some of these Boehner clips, there's a little bit of, I think Boehner's telling a lot of his truth, but there's a little bit of coded language in there. Like he referred to Bill Clinton as one of the best politicians and for some phrase politicians that he's ever met, which is like damning with faint praise there. But like we knows what he means, like a flip flopper. And that's kind of the same thing Lindsey Graham, Boehner's saying about Graham here, is that he's a dancer, as Stephen Colbert kind of wrestled out of him a little bit. So to me, to the point that yeah, we shouldn't be glorifying John Boehner and these actions and all these different things, whereas using the fact that these people are egotistical vessels and want to spew their side of the story and have the last word all the time, based on what they're giving us, it's a look into how power sees itself and how insular it is. And that, I mean, to quote the great George Carlin phrase, it's a big club and we ain't in it.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and even that for you to be able to think that he's funny, you have to be able to, and you have to look past so much. Like I know you can probably think of people that they won't even really say anything yet, and you already are about to laugh just because you like them. You're predisposed to think you're funny, that they are funny. But there are also awful people that it doesn't matter what they say. You know who they are, what they stand for, what their values are, and you'd never think it was funny. Lindsey Graham is terrible. He is an absolutely terrible person. For me, he cannot be funny. He could say the exact same thing that from someone else would be hilarious, and it just wouldn't work. But for John Boehner, there's nothing about Lindsey Graham that takes him out of the realm of comedy. It's totally good to go. And also, God only knows what those jokes are. It is entirely possible that for some conservatives, there are topics he's willing to talk about that are funny, like we talked about in the pre-show. During his speech over the weekend, Donald Trump made a reference to Barack Hussein Obama and the very beautiful Michelle Obama, and the entire room began laughing like hyenas. They think that's funny, but that's not really a commentary on the joke. That's a commentary on the crowd and the person delivering it. So just bear that in mind. Again, not rehabilitating John Boehner. John Boehner still sucks. Maybe not as much as Ted Cruz. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.